I am Shubham Papade. So in this video I will be explaining socket programming in Python through example of server and client. So this is basically a calculator server client program. In this I have implemented 4 servers: server 1, server 2, server 3 and so on, and one client which works for every server. So our client program is basically a global program which works for any server, just like in real case scenario. So let's get started. So first of all, these are the instructions for running the code you can see on the screen. I will just go through them, and then we will mostly talk about the aggressive testing. So firstly, looking at the code, this is my client.py code. So firstly, we have taken a command line argument for server IP and server port. So client will be connected to this server IP and server port server. The server which is running on those server IP and ports will be able to connect with this client. So going through the code, then I have given the input for the client so that he will be able to enter his chat messages, and depending upon the traffic at the server, the client will be able to talk with the server. Also, mainly I implement a really good functionality using socket timeout. Here you can see. So when I declare here socket set timeout 1, so I have used 1 second timeout for this functionality. What it does is, if another client is already talking with the server 1 program, because our server 1.py program is a single process, single client program which only accepts requests from single client and chat with it. Until and unless the first client goes off, the second client can't work with it. So this timeout functionality I have implemented so that the second client will be able to know that the server is already busy with the first client. So other server 2, server 3 and server 4 programs are very much similar to server 1, but they are having some different functionalities. Like server 2 is using threading. So in threading, what I have done is, our handle client function for different clients will run in different thread. So by doing that, we will be able to concurrently run requests from multiple clients. And in server 3, what I did is, I have used select from socket. So using select, it will be a more scalable program, scalable server, because in select we keep a list of the current clients connected with the server. So depending upon which client's request, the server will be able to uh, respond to that particular client without creating extra threads for that handle client function for that client. And in server 4, we have used the similar functionality as in server 3, but the server 4 is little simpler version of server 3, which echoes the message from the client and again sends back to that particular client. Note that if multiple clients are connected to that server 4, if one client says, "Hey, I am Shubham," then that particular message will be sent to server, and then server again send that message to only that particular client. If there is another client named Suraj and he has not sent that message to the server, then he will surely not get that request. So that message will be only sent to the particular client which already have sent that message to the server. Okay, so that's it. So I have used particularly socket and refer to the computer networking top-down approach textbook, where the socket programming is already mentioned. So I have also used excessive error handling here so that it will be user friendly. You can see here this particular port number is for MacBook, so if you are running on Windows this will be 98. uh, Again, this server 1, so functionality of server 1 to server 4 is already clear. So now we will jump on to aggressively test our code. Okay, so this documentation I have provided already consists of many difficult and different test cases for different servers. So we will be going through some of those cases, the main test cases, and one extra functionality that I have added here, you can see, I will be showing you. So special feature test case I have added is we can have any arithmetic combination with plus minus division and multiplication with multiple operands that works for any server. So all servers have implemented this, and any type of spacing between operands an operator works. But note that if there is some spacing like 656 and there is space then 09 without any operator in between, then that will fail. So that will be invalid input. So I have handled that as well. That is included in the error handling. So yeah. So now we will jump on to test that code, server and client. So what I will do is I will run first one server program here. This program will run on our localhost, port number 5001. Here you can see server listening on the localhost. If at all that port was already present, already running, then our program will not run. Here you can see, I will try it here also. So yeah, this is a trap handled by me in those server programs. So here it says another server is already running on the specified port. So if we run this server on some different port, then it will be able to run. Yeah, here you can see server is running. Yeah. So that's it. And then now we will run a client program. Okay, so we will run a client program which tries to connect with the server 1 running on localhost and port number 5001. So here you can see connected to server, please enter the message. So now the server is also saying that connected with client socket number 4. The 4 is a file number that is specific to that socket number. So if for a single process, single client server, if one client uses that server and then disconnects and another client comes, there will be a possibility that their file number is same. Mostly it will be same, but for multi-threaded or different clients using select, that number will be different. So we will run our query like 4 plus 7. Here the server replied 11, and on the server side you can see client sent a message 4 plus 7 and sending reply 11. So terminating this, we can see on the server side that client 4 disconnected. Again this 4 is file number, and on the client side we see that client terminated by user. Okay, so for single client it is working fine. Now we will test for two clients. So one client is running here, the server will keep on running until we terminate by Control C, so that's not a problem. On another terminal we will run another client. Okay, Python 3 client localhost on the same port. So now here we can see that the client is trying to connect with the server, but we have not yet tried to uh, chat with the server. Okay, so now we will try to chat with the server. 56 divided by 8, let's say. Here you can see I use here the timeout of 1 second. After some 1 second time, you can see there this is the error message which is mentioned in the assignment. Server is busy, please wait. So we already knew that this first client is contacting with the server, so second client will not be able to contact with the server because there will be only one process and one client connection. So here also we can see that the first client is able to get response from the server, and when the first client disconnects, then you can see that hola, server now serves the second client, and server replied with the message 7.0, and now the second client will be able to run his queries, and server now serves it. So mostly that's it. Other different functionalities and error handling cases I have implemented in uh, that documentation. The special feature that I had mentioned, I want to show that as well. So here we can have multiple operands like spacing, different spacing. 67 divided by 8 multiply by 90 minus 23 and so on. We can have multiple things here going on and multiple spacing, but just it should be correct. So here you can see this is the output, and if at all we do something incorrect, like we input something incorrect like 45 minus minus, this is not a correct command, right? So the server will reply error, invalid input, please enter a valid arithmetic expression. So that also I have handled on the server side, so that's also good. So now we will move on to the server 2. So let's run this program. Now the server is listening on the localhost 5001 port. This is multi-threaded server, so it can have multiple clients. Yeah, when this client gets connected, it is saying this client it gets connected on localhost and its PID is 54367, the thread. Okay, so now we can send multiple requests, also sending reply to thread 1 the handle client function. This is in the handle client function, and also we can try connecting to different other clients as well. So here we can see connected with client, this is having another ID, this ID is different from the first ID, right? Another client here as well, so this ID is again different. So now we will send on different queries. So we can see is sending reply to thread 3, this is thread 3, this is thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, according to how we try to get that clients connected to the server. So when we disconnect a client at the server side, we will notice that client 6 disconnected. So this 6 is the file number for this. For this it will be 5, here you can see, and for this it will be 4. So our multi-threaded program also working really well, and it is also handling different cases as well. At the same time it will be able to serve multiple clients, right? Here you can see. Okay, so yeah, moving on to the server 3. Other difficult cases as well I have covered, but these mostly are the key concepts. So here you can see client 6 disconnected, 5 disconnected, 4 disconnected. So I have kept every transaction between the server and the client which will be visible so that the server will be able to know the things about client, and client will also know the things about server. So yeah, now here we must close the server through Control C. Without that it will keep on serving. Okay, now moving on to server 3. This uses select functionality. So this is also started listening on that port. Again, starting one client, this is file number. Second client, that also got connected. This is also single process multi-client server, right? So it will serve multiple clients through only single process, but without using multi-threads, but will use select. So here we can see this program is also working. If you enter something wrong, like space 9, it will say invalid input. Again, entering something good, here you can see everything is working fine. Multiple clients get served by the server. So 23.5, yeah, everything is working correct. So let's now move on to the server 4. So our server 4, here you can again see the disconnections. So our server 4 is nothing but a echo server, which also uses the select functionality to socket, and it's similar to the server 3, but echoes the message from the client. If some client says, hey, I am working on computer network, so then server will also receive that message and again send the same message to that client. But notice that it will send to that corresponding client only. And for this server, I haven't written the code for like server receives the message and again sends that message, because the received message will be same as the sent message. So for others, I have implemented like received message is 3 plus 4, then server sending 7. But for this I have only implemented server received that message, and that particular message will guaranteed get served to that client. So running server 4, echo server listening on this port. So running the client, here you can see that our client program is universal. The client program works for any server. Okay, but the functionality that client is different. Like for single process single client server, we have implemented that timeout, but that timeout will mostly not get used for other servers. But in some cases when threading will not work or something else happens, that will definitely work. So that conditions I have already worked on, so I really enjoy doing that. So we will send a message like, I love computer programming. So received from client floor, I love computer programming. Then server replied, I love computer programming. So this is a echo server. So also handling another clients. So this client also get connected. This client also gets connected. So I loved doing computer network assignment. So server replied, I love doing computer network assignment. Yeah, so well and good. 34 is greater than 5. Good. So this echo server is also working good. So that's about socket programming that I have done. I really enjoyed doing this socket programming assignment, and this is my documentation where I have ran multiple test cases. Like I worked on this like for 2 weeks, like not directly 2 weeks, but nearly 1 week. And in 1 week I give 2-3 days back to back for this assignment. And yeah, it was a very good experience in doing this assignment. and you can go through this documentation. Also, I uploaded the code on GitHub, and you can access the code there. So yeah, thank you so much.